is Ed Sheehan for Colony Confidential, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all the ships at sea. We're back.
Joe Sheehan, Colony Confidential. For those of you watching the video, we got on some new merchandise, the We Bug New York stuff.
I don't want to say what that thing he's wearing on his head looks like. It looks
Just fucking with that.
looks like the end of a condom on a penis.
We'll say what you said before, prophylastic. What do you got over there, prophylactics? I need to buy prophylactics.
Oh, suffering, Jesus.
Yeah, that's what Grandma would say. She'd
Okay, all right.
smack you so hard for not knowing
So
what
we're
it
talking
was.
about spills or leaks, right?
Welcome back to another episode of Colony Confidential. Joe and Ed Sheehan here.
Yeah.
I'm reining the old man in. Today, we're back. We're discussing more safety topics. Spill procedures. Do you have one? What is it? Is it in writing? Do all your technicians know about it? Do you do training on it? Do you remind them on it? Is there annual training? So we're discussing all that today. Safety for spills, spill procedures, getting in writing, making sure your team understands. Go. Scun Gio.
Well, here's the thing. The one thing that I see a lot of brought to my attention, you got the chemical, you got whatever you're using in your B&G sprayer. And it's a little leaking on my hand, but it's not that much. Well, you know what? Release the pressure. There's a way to stop that. There's obviously a way to stop that leak. If you don't know what to do, go back to the office, get a sprayer, let whoever fixes your equipment, let them fix the leak in this thing, because it's just going to get worse. So you got to check the equipment you're using and make sure it's not leaking. That's the number one thing I see.
As a pest management professional, somebody that applies pesticide, it's really your responsibility on a day-to-day basis to maintain all the equipment, to maintain the storage of the equipment in a manner where it prevents spills, right?
Mm-hmm.
You should have a spill kit in your car, and this may vary state by state, but what you should have in your car, appropriate safety equipment. We spoke about in one of our other episodes, PPE. You should have that on your car. What is that? The gloves, the goggles.
You got to have appropriate cleanup materials. You got to anticipate a spill. It's not going to happen, but if it does, this is what I got to take care of it. First thing you got to do is you got to sort of cordon off the area. You got to contain the spill or leak. First thing I would look for, where is it running into? If it's that big, which is unusual, we don't use that much pest. Stop it from spreading. Just cordon off the area. I mean, most of the spills are not bigger than 12 by 12. I mean, the days of the big Claudine stuff and sometimes coming out, that's where you could get a bigger spill, when you got 100 gallons pumping around. But anyway.
So part of that, right, containing the spill is where we come in with some of the materials in your spill kit, right?
Right.
So we'll go through the materials in the spill kit. What you're talking about, a way to contain all that, is by using the absorbent. So there's chemical absorbent that people use. You might be able to get away with an absorbent material. You might be able to use cat litter, which will soak it up real quickly. There's a whole bunch of chemical absorbent materials that you can carry in the truck. You should have, separate of all your other PPE gloves, you should have proper rubber gloves in your spill kit. You should have heavy duty garbage bags. I mean, 2 to 4. We just provide our guys with a 20 bag, box that you can buy in the store. You want a cleaning detergent to clean up anything of where the spill was, gloves, etc. You need a proper fire extinguisher.
ABC fire extinguisher.
You need a broom. You need a small shovel to shovel up the absorbent material. When that's where the broom comes in. You should have eye wash. Now here's something very funny about eye wash that gets crazy. Eye wash has an expiration date. Now, I never knew that, but the eye wash stations in our office have expiration dates on them, and it annoys me every time that I have to renew the eye wash stations. Not because of the price or anything like that, because I know that the water in there that said it expires on December 2018 will still wash the chemical out of your eye properly. But anyway, what do I know about that? Hydrated lime or a high pH detergent is what is also recommended to have in there. The activated charcoal, and most of you know the activated charcoal is for, if in a spill kit, if somebody ingests it, right?
That's right, because particularly if it's an acid or it burns your throat going down, you want that activated charcoal to bring it up.
And then you want to have clean towels. And you want to definitely have a specific towel dedicated, if not two, to that spill kit. You may have other towels throughout the car, maybe a towel to clean some stuff off, right?
So you're ready, you got this stuff, you're ready for a spill. Just don't go out and spill something and see if it works well. They work well. Hopefully you never have a spill.
So if a spill or leak occurs, we touched on a couple of it. Eliminate the potential for spill we spoke about. We spoke about containing the spill. You should evacuate all unnecessary personnel. Now, if you have a spill this big where you got to evacuate people, it's pretty serious, right?
You got a problem. You're gonna have to call hazmat. You're gonna have a hazmat team come in if it's that big. But here's what you got to do when you're gonna make a report: interview people and say, what did you see? And get it all written down. Get them to sign off on it if you can. This way, when somebody comes, usually a lawyer, tell them how they can make money. Their story's going to be a lot different from the one they told you if you get there quick enough.
Yes, so truthfully, in any accident, that should be somewhere in your bullet points, which it is. So we at Colony have a spill procedure and spill kit that everybody learns, has to read, and sign off that they read it. The writing it down is number 10 if a spill or leak occurs. Out of 12, it's number 10. We already said evacuate unnecessary personnel. Don't let anyone that's not trained or who's not a member of the company assist you. Make sure you wear the appropriate PPE and safety equipment.
If you're not taking care of yourself while you're cleaning this stuff up, you just
you
created another problem.
After you throw down the absorbent material and everything like that, and that should be the first thing you do to try and contain it, is throw down the absorbent material. Then you're going to want to read the SDS and MDS, right? So MSDS and SDS, but really SDS. On the form that I was saying that we give all of our technicians, it has a step-by-step process of what to do. And it also has additional information. It has what's supposed to be in their spill kit, and it has our local poison control, oil and hazmat spills phone numbers, which are two separate. Poison control is one number, oil and hazmat spills is another. These are the things that we should be doing. Read the label, make sure that you're following the decontamination procedures. Pick up the material. So use the appropriate spill control materials. In most instances, either commercial products or the following products can really be used to pick up the material: sawdust, kitty litter, sand, paper towels, rags, or other absorbent materials. And remember, there are very specific chemical absorbent materials, but all of the ones I just mentioned suffice in 90% of pesticide spills, right? And always read the label, because if something different comes up, you need to know what that difference is. Another thing that we have on our list, why is notify the office 11 out of 12? But the truth of the matter is that the concern is to keep the spill at a minimum if you have a spill, and to avoid real contamination. So calling the office, most of business owners will be like, I would call the office right away. But the truth is that you have these processes in place to eliminate exposure on all levels and liability. So your tech calls and says, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this, and here's where I am. What's my next move? And that's why it's number 11 out of 12. And 12 for us is just explaining that some of the materials can be reused, so don't necessarily throw them out right away. That's discretionary for businesses. So in a nutshell, the first thought should be personal safety of the technician. The second should be safety of those around you. And the third should be safety of the environment. And fourth should be the liability of the company. So, as Grandma Bessie would say, thanks be to Jesus, I've never had a spill of pesticides. But, Ed, have you ever had one?
As Grandma would say, Jesus, Eddie, what did you do now? So, yeah, we had done this termite job in a house. And I had been out doing another termite job when a call came in. And I spoke to the woman. She says, yeah, they were by the garage. I said, okay, I won't be home. I'll leave the garage open. I should have went back to the office and looked at the blueprints, because the garage, underneath the garage was the basement. So we drilled some holes in the garage. I said, oh, how come I never drilled holes here? That's why the termites are here. So I drilled holes in the garage, and we get a call, oh, the stuff's all over. And she calls the DEC, and of course they got the wrong date that I did it, and they got the wrong house. They had the address wrong. So I said to the woman, I said, well, listen, you got some games and stuff. I'll buy you new games. She wanted a new floor. So for like $800, we got her a new floor. And then I said, you got to sign this. Well, I'm not signing anything. Good, I'm going to rip up the floor. You want to be that way? We'll just rip up the floor. So then she signed the thing, and I never heard from the DEC again. I don't know if it was luck or what. The spill went into the cellar.
Was that a livable space or no?
It was like a playroom. There was nobody living there. I mean, I lucked out. Basically, I lucked out. But it taught me a good lesson. Stop rushing, which I can't tell you I always did, but it certainly calmed me down on termite work. That was your biggest chance of screwing up.
How did you contain that spill, or you didn't even know?
No, we went down to it with a bunch of rigs and sopped it up. And when I got there, it was dried up. It was like damp. So we just sopped it up with a bunch of towels and rags and stuff like that. Of course, we put them in a bag, did everything according to the way we're supposed to do it. So, that's what we did. That's my spill story.
My spill story is maybe an ounce that spilled, maybe allegedly at some point. But
Well, I trained you, so, you learn from all my mistakes.
I did. That's correct.
Okay, so, Mr. and Mrs. America and all the ships at sea, it's been a pleasure talking with you, talking about you, telling you stories, and maybe helping you thrive in your pest control business. And I learned a few things myself, and I want to thank you for that. And until we meet again, God bless you.
I want to thank you once again for listening. I appreciate all the feedback from everybody that's emailing and texting me. This is probably the most important thing that you'll ever have to deal with: safety. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe and review.